groovy people, welcome to the channel. I'm the self-proclaimed Blue Dragon. This is my art channel. I talk about a lot of different things, primarily my free not safe for work webcomic Dark Horse, links down in the description. But I also branch out and talk about a variety of other things, and this week we're doing our regular monthly Q&A, which I always hold the last Wednesday of the month. First off, I want to thank my patrons at the $5 level for being patient and allowing me to answer these questions in May instead of April, because I got a slew of kind of last minute questions last month, and I try to keep these videos a little bit shorter since I've been having a few longer videos recently. So thank you two very much for working with me on that. I chose these questions to hold off on because I do in a way try to keep the questions kind of some kind of theme, or at least kind of along the same lines. You know, they're connected in some way to one another. So I was talking mostly about Dark Horse last month. This month these are more like work and process questions and projects, and like maybe one or two kind of personal questions, not like super personal or anything like that, but yeah. So I've got 4 of them, with a couple of them having nested questions or follow-up questions regarding some of these. So let's go ahead and just jump right into it. First up, how do you keep track of tasks / projects? Not very well. No, I'm just kidding. I actually, to be quite honest, I've gotten better at it over the years, but I have a couple of things that I do. First and foremost is I am a list maker. I compile lists and lists and lists. I have lists on scrap paper. Of late, I've been trying to keep my stuff organized by tracking things in a little black composition notebook. And I have like my monthly to-dos, and then I have like overall to-dos, and then I have like personal, like some of them are work, some of them are personal. I try to keep the 2 lists separate, and I will like dog-ear or fold in half the ones that I need to keep mindful of at the time, and then whenever I've completed all those tasks, I will unfold the page. So I have like kind of a weird system with that, and that's just something that I started doing recently. I also have in the past had my list just tacked up on the wall so I can keep track of it, and then I remove it and add a new list whenever those tasks are completed, or I will update my list once a month and, you know, kind of switch them out that way. I don't really use my phone very much, so even though it has a calendar on it that can send me reminders, I'm really not someone who likes dealing with telephones very much, or cell phones. So I do have 2 I have 2 calendars. I use the calendar on my Mac that's just installed, you know, part of the regular software that comes with Macs. And I will put my tasks down on the month. I'll just have it listed in what time or whatever when things are due. Like I've got the Comic Theory Zine stuff already input into my calendar. I actually need to put it on my laptop that I travel with too, because the 2 aren't connected, which that would be kind of nice, but whatever, it doesn't matter. And then we have, I'm so fucking old school, y'all. We have a chalkboard calendar that I update on a monthly basis, and I keep track of like important things on it too. So like not necessarily all of my work stuff is on the chalkboard. The chalkboard is more like personal stuff and reoccurring things like garbage day. So I had to keep track of stuff like that. And so yeah, I essentially use lists and calendars. Every now and then I'll send an email to myself, but that I haven't done that really in a long time, just because I get so much email now. But yeah, I think that answers the question. I need to get more organized, but that's kind of how I've been doing things. Okay, next question. I mentioned that I have a new scanner, so I was asked, what's your scanner look like? What's the new one look like? And I'll throw up a photograph of it. Actually, you know what? Let's go ahead and I'll do a short video of it and insert it into this. Okay, so I keep it stored on top of my filing cabinet and behind our printer, but it's a decent size. It's on top of the old scanner right now, but you can open it up, and just to give you an idea, it's about 12 inches by 9. Sorry, I'm using my cell phone. This is probably going to be all jiggly, but this thing will remove. I don't know why that removes. I should maybe read the instruction manual. But yeah, that's what it looks like. It's pretty cool. It's got some buttons. I mostly will use the computer to access the scanner rather than hitting any of these buttons. So the next question was, do you like it? Yeah, so far it's got a little bit of a learning curve because it's got a whole lot of settings to it that my previous scanner may have had, but I didn't really well, no, my previous scanner had black and white and color, and that was it, which is fine. It's been working for me, but not anymore. But yeah, there's a lot of different options. Like you can set it to like magazine, so in case like your pages are glossy, it will adjust the lighting of the scanner for that. Or it's got black and white, or it's got color, or it's got this, that, or the other. So there's quite a few different options that I'm not really used to and that I need to figure out how to utilize. There's also different page sizes, but I found that sometimes if you select one of their options, they will automatically readjust page sizes and stuff, and that's kind of annoying, but it's not really that big of a deal. I'll just have it like do the whole scanner plate. How much was it? I went for one that was kind of mid-range. I'd actually gone online to, I don't know if it was like art or architecture.com. I basically just looked at like a 2022 listing of the best scanners for artists and tried to pick one that was more of like a mid-range price. And this particular scanner, where I live, and we don't pay a sales tax here, but it was an Epson per something, perfect something. The base cost without tax was $250, $249.99, which, you know, for scanners it's not super expensive considering how expensive they can get. We did also get the warranty, which was an extra $20 on there. So yeah, I think I might have gotten a discount from like my card from Office Depot, Office Max. They're like the same company now. But yeah, I hope that answers your question. Obviously it was a pretty penny, but I have an art budget and my patrons helped make that possible. Initially I was going to use that money for an Indiegogo, but I think that by the time the Indiegogo ends, it won't be until like July, so I'll have that $60 for the Indiegogo. By that time it'll be fine. So I ended up using my patrons' money, so thank you so much for supporting you guys and gals and theys and whoever's. I really appreciate that, seriously, because I would be up shit creek without a paddle if it weren't for you all helping me out with that, because my art budget is only like, not only, but it's like $30 a month, and I usually try to save it up and stack it up for when I need bigger purchases, so it really hadn't reached where it needed to be for me to get an entire scanner yet, so thank you. It was the combination of those two things that helped me continue work, essentially, so thank you. I don't know what I would have been doing. I would have been taking pictures, and I can't take pictures very straight. I'm bad. But yeah, thank you so much. Going back to that previous question, yes, I like it a lot, and I think it was a fair price compared to some of the others that are out there on the market. I'm cheap as hell, you guys, but sometimes it's better to go mid-tier rather than the very bottom tier if you can afford it, because sometimes the very cheapest model of something is not necessarily going to last as long, so I try to pick something in the middle, and that's how I ended up at that, because it was going to suit my needs. And it's got a big enough plate that I can scan some of my larger pages, like if I'm working on Bristol or something. So that's pretty cool. I like it. Okay, now we're getting into a more personal question, and I'm not really sure how to answer this. I guess I'll go with my initial instinct, but do you have any art regrets? Yeah, yes and no. I mean, to be quite honest, I'm really happy with what I'm doing right now. I'm allowed to work from home and work full-time on my comic and my art. So no regrets there, only gratefulness, thankfulness. And also, of course, as I've mentioned earlier, to my patrons and the people who have supported me or donated to me in the past. You know, every little bit helps, so I'm just humbled and, you know, grateful for any assistance I can get. So regarding that, having the time and support needed to work on my art projects, no regrets at all there. I guess in some way, one regret I have, I guess I wish that I had gotten more out of my education. And I would like to go back, and I know that I'll never get accepted into graduate school. I'm just not good enough. I know that. I'm realistic, and I'm okay with that. This is not me being down on myself, but I really do. I regret that my college didn't have illustration courses. It was primarily focusing on either paint or ceramics. If you didn't want to paint, if you didn't want to be a painter, if you didn't want to do that, or if you didn't want to do ceramics, which I went with ceramics to be quite honest, because it just kind of spoke to me at the time, and I do not regret that at all. But I kind of regret having so few options at my smaller university. I definitely don't regret going to college. It taught me a lot. It helped me prepare. And if I ever needed to do a show, I mean, I have those skills in my arsenal. I was able to put on some of my own shows, and I even put on, like, scheduled and put on a show, not my art, but other people's art for the Veggie Club. We held a contest for people, and, you know, with the help of the club members, we were able to present a show at our campus. So that was really useful, I think. So I definitely value a lot of the education I got, but I'm kind of a combination of self-taught and school educated, if that makes sense. And I regret that I wasn't able to get a better education, but I don't regret having taken the courses. I do regret that I still am paying off my college debt, though. Yeah. Anyway, last question, and this has a sub-question. I'm just going to kind of read them off. Do you have or sell any NFTs? Have you made any NFTs for others? No. And I won't. No. That's something that I have not created any art for, will not create any art for, will not participate in. And, you know, I morally object to these things because it's not, they try to sell it to you as being free from the government, but, you know, at least on some level, the government is in a tiny way beholden to me because they could lose my vote, whereas these fuckers just floating around out there in cyberspace, they are not beholden to me at all, and if I get fucked, or if I lose something, it means nothing to them. There's no way to hold them accountable, and it's not very safe. It's even more volatile than the stock market, which I foresee a lot of people participating in this losing a lot of money, and I feel like people are being taken advantage of because they don't fully understand the whole system. And anyway, that's my opinion on that. You're free to have your own opinion. Both my mom and dad always used to say, opinions are like assholes. Everyone's got them, and some of them stink. That last part was from Dad. He's so crude. God, he's funny. Okay, anyway. Didn't want you to think I was going to be too classy in this video. That's all the questions I got. Thank you all very much for your questions, and again, to my patrons for your help and support and your patience with me. We'll be back next Wednesday with another video, so stay tuned. Peace and love. Fare you well, and keep on trucking.